You ever wonder why some court hearings feel like a game of dodgeball where one side never even touches the ball? Immigration court can feel exactly like that, and today we are talking about how you fight back when the judge got it wrong. Removability is basically the government saying you have to leave the country and a judge deciding if that claim actually holds up. But judges are human, paperwork gets messy, and mistakes happen more often than people think. So what counts as a procedural error? Think of it like a referee missing a foul. Maybe you were not given proper notice of your hearing, or you did not get enough time to find a lawyer. Here is a fun twist. The government has to prove removability with what is called clear and convincing evidence. That is a high bar, kind of like trying to convince your mom you did not eat the last slice of pizza when there is sauce on your shirt. If the evidence used against you was shaky, outdated, or just plain wrong, that is your opening. Maybe a document got mistranslated, maybe a record identifies the wrong person, and suddenly the whole case is standing on a wobbly table leg. You challenge these findings mainly through something called a motion to reopen or a motion to reconsider. One says, "Hey judge, you missed something." The other says, "Hey judge, here is new evidence you never got to see." Timing matters a ton here, because these motions usually have strict deadlines, often 30 days. Miss that window and you might be stuck, so speed is not optional, it is survival. Appeals go to the Board of Immigration Appeals, which is basically the sequel nobody asked for but everybody needs. They review the transcript, the evidence, and whether the judge followed the rules properly. Now here is where people get confused. Appealing does not mean retelling your whole story again with extra drama. It means pointing at specific legal or factual errors, like a detective pointing at the one clue that breaks the whole case. Let us talk about due process for a second, because it sounds fancy, but it is simple. It just means you were treated fairly, given proper notice, a real chance to speak, and evidence that actually makes sense. If the judge relied on evidence that should never have been allowed, like something obtained improperly, that becomes a huge issue. Courts take this seriously because the system only works if the process itself is trustworthy. A lot of people think hiring a lawyer late in the game will not help, but that is a myth wrapped in more myth. An experienced immigration attorney can spot procedural cracks that most people would completely miss. Here's the human side of all this: stress. Facing removal proceedings is terrifying, and it is easy to freeze instead of act. But time-sensitive deadlines do not wait for anyone to feel ready. Preparation beats panic every single time. Gather your documents, write down your timeline, and get legal advice as early as possible. Rational thinking under pressure is basically a superpower in immigration court. At the end of the day, procedural errors and flawed evidence are not just technicalities, they can be the difference between staying and leaving. Do you want to learn more about how we help connect people with the right immigration lawyers? Check out our links in the description.